This interview on 365 Sports is brought to you by QC Kinetics. I feel better than I have in a long time, years, because of their degenerative treatment. It's been amazing at QCkinetics.com and also with locations in Dallas and Houston. Christian Fauria is with us and two-time Super Bowl champion. Show that right hand out if you don't mind.
Oh, well, hold on. Where's my camera at? Yeah. Oh, there we go. Oh, hold on. Wait.
No, you don't. No.
I always forget this one. What do you want me to do? I got some hardware. You know, it's the only time you get to brag about it.
Barry Switzer one time
the
did
only time?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Honestly, what former player with a Super Bowl ring is wearing their ring to like dinner?
No.
Randomly. It's got to be some sort of event, speaking engagement, some sort of autograph signing, something like that.
Yeah. Well, also, what was it like? Validated it with another one, but what was it like when that game ended and you were a Super Bowl champion?
Well, I mean, it's funny. Like everybody has like a different experience. You know, a lot of guys cry and they're weeping. And I was laughing. I was smiling. I was so happy, right? It was just it was just cool. It's like you dream about it. The confetti comes down and you're sitting there looking through the confetti, trying to find your family, and it feels like it's in slow motion. It's like that old Rosebud scene, that old movie, like just the snow slowly coming down, but it's confetti. The game itself, like I can dive into every single possession, all that stuff, but the memories of it always make me smile.
I am watching that Netflix special on the U.S. Olympic hockey team in 1980, and that video of Jim Craig looking up in the stands as all the confetti and everyone's going crazy. That reminded when you said that. You're looking for those who were there for you all throughout your life. That's awesome.
Yeah, and it is. I've become all really sentimental about that aspect of it. I've been sentimental about the confetti falling. I've also been obsessed with the whole, seatbelt analogy that I use, because when you're younger, I think you have a tendency to think that you do it all alone and you're out there by yourself and you just buckle up for a wild ride. The reality is that I've realized that now that I'm older is that everybody in your circle, all your family, all your friends that are important to you, they need a seatbelt as well, because it is absolutely ups and downs and turns and twists. But then when the ride is over, the roller coaster is over, you come into the gate, everybody would say, let's do it again.
Yeah.
Let's do it again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? And that's how I would kind of, in my old age, that's kind of how I look at it now.
You are looking at a team in the Patriots this year that Mike Vrabel, who you know really well, has taken over and in a year flipped the switch. What was the key for that?
All right. Well, I can't just say it's one thing, because that would be diminishing how tough of a job it was. But ultimately, if somebody was going to ask me, one, let's just look at the obvious. The quarterback is the real deal. Mm-hmm. The receivers on the offensive side were undervalued. They're the real deal. Their backs are special. The offensive coordinator absolutely made a difference, with all his history in developing quarterbacks. Other than that, I think each coach comes in with an agenda and a vision, right? And that vision he has to somehow relay that vision to the team. And most players don't buy into any of the bull crap. Like they see through all your crap. And I think what Vrabel was able to do pretty quickly is convince his players that he was worth trusting. And I would say it's hard to do because you need proof. So, and I think that when they played against the Buffalo Bills, there was proof. Even when they lost to the Steelers and they had all those turnovers, I think that was his message was starting to ring true. Even though they screwed up in that game against Aaron Rodgers, everything he said not to do, they did, and they lost. And then they just started going on a road win, and he kept reestablishing that mindset, and they bought into it. So they were there early, they were there late. I talked to their strength coach, who was a friend of mine, and I said, come on, tell me the truth. And this guy's a hardcore Boston dude, right? Accent, nothing's easy, taught in the inner city, was used to roughnecks. And he just said this, and he was there with all my Super Bowls, okay? And he was like, this group is different. They're tougher than anybody. And I was like, that's good to know.
I pitched in the major leagues for 24 years. And let me tell you, I can feel it in my joints. Shoulders, elbows, and knees. Trust me, Pain doesn't retire when you do. I tried everything to get rid of the pain. Nothing worked until QC Kinetics.
Baseball legend Roger Clemens and other patients are getting lasting relief with QC Kinetics regenerative treatments. No surgery.
I trust QC Kinetics. You should too. Let's commit to getting rid of all the pain.
Schedule your free consultation today. QC Kinetics. Better starts here.
I saw his opening meeting with the team. I saw a video of that. And, he's kind of obviously a big, so you don't know about how the delivery can impact. And it wasn't overly like slamming it was very methodical.
Yeah.
And under control. The message was simple, but it was there. Sometimes coaches want to come in there and I thought that was the first team meeting. I was very impressed with that.
And I would say, I'll share a story with you, okay? People in the Washington, D.C. area hate this story because it's about Joe Gibbs. And I left the New England Patriots and I signed with the then Washington Redskins. And I was like, wow, what a treat. I go from Bill to Joe Gibbs. And I sat in the front row, and 10 seconds in, I was like, he don't got it. He's all over the place. To the messaging part, he was all over the place and saying this and contradicting this, and it was all games. I was like, he doesn't have the right. He's not in the right lane, And we sucked that year. We were terrible for a bunch of different reasons, but I thought that was very key to how disorganized and how dysfunctional we became as the season went on. And I just felt, and Mike hit it on the head. He picked what his vision was going to be. He picked his talking points, and he just kept driving them home and re-administrating them.
Gibbs was obviously unbelievable his first time at Washington.
Yeah.
Incredible. 3 Super Bowls with 3 different quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Do you feel like him coming back was like it was forced and he was uncomfortable?
You know what? The next year after I left, they made the playoffs, but I would just say that I just felt like he, not to make this a Joe Gibbs discussion, but
no.
It's the comparing coaching styles and philosophies. I just felt like he didn't trust his own philosophy. Yeah. So he kept changing it. When something wouldn't work, he didn't have the patience to stay with it or the discipline to try to convince the players like, no, we're in this together type of thing. And then it just splintered, man, just all separated.
What do you think, just on the other side, of what the Seahawks have done? And kind of a similar thing of revamping really quickly and kind of starting this new era.
I think that both franchises are pretty similar. You lose Pete Carroll, you lose Bill Belichick. You hire Mike McDonald, you hire Gerard Mayo, but then you hire the right guy in Mike Vrabel. GM John Snyder, Elliott Wolf. They draft well, they develop well, same messaging. And I would look at that Seattle team and say very similar, but they hit on their draft picks. Right off the back, in like a week, they went out and signed DeMarcus Lawrence. They signed Sam Darnold. They signed all these free agent players. They signed Cooper Kupp, and then they hit on those guys as well. So it's not a surprise to me that they were able to turn it around so quickly. They're in a really tough division. They won. They had the best record in the NFC, so they also got home field advantage. Mm-hmm. And I played in Seattle back when they had the Kingdome, and the 12 was there, but it was very quiet, very tame 12. Now, this is like something I've never even seen. Like, it's a legit home field advantage. And I remember when they were building that stadium, because I was part of the SOS crew, Save the Seahawk Foundation, so they wouldn't sell the team. Because remember, they moved us to L.A., and they moved us back. They moved us. They physically moved the entire organization down to Anaheim, maybe about 3 blocks away from Disneyland, because I went to Disneyland while I was working out, like every day. Okay, and then they moved us back, and they were finding the team. But they were building that stadium. I remember going, why are they building an open-air stadium? Like, honestly, it rains all the time. Mike Holmgren wanted an open-air stadium. He wanted the rain, the elements.
The Packers-type element.
He wanted that, which is people want to go away from right now. My thing is, like, you lean into that as an advantage. And I think the way that stadium is constructed, it keeps the noise in there. And they're loud, and they're smart, too.
Yeah, they're locked in. There's no doubt it's a Seattle Seahawks town. You played at Colorado?
Yeah.
I remember you when you played at Colorado. What are your thoughts about where they are? They went Pac-12 and now back Big 12. Your thoughts about what Dion has done? It's been kind of up and down.
I don't like what he's done. I don't like anything about it, and I'm pretty on record of saying I don't agree with his messaging. I don't agree with his approach. I don't agree with any of it. Everybody has their own style. That wouldn't be one that I would co-sign on, for a bunch of different reasons. Like, we don't have enough time for me to dig into why I don't like the way that program's being run. But we'll see what happens. When things get tough, the division, that conference has lost a bunch of coaches. I think it'll be easier for them to be competitive this year as opposed to last year, based on what happened to Iowa State, what happened to Kansas State, all those teams that lost their coaches and lost all their players. What's Oklahoma State going to be like? What's TCU going to be like? But we'll see. But no, I'm just, there's nothing that he does that I agree with. Like, nothing. And to me, that's an example of the emperor has no clothes.
That is the first time I've heard someone say it like that.
Well, here's the problem. Nobody wants to say it out loud. They're afraid that the Sanders army is going to come get them.
Oh, yeah.
And if you're critical of him at all, you're something, right? You don't like him. You don't know. I love the school. That's my school. So, but I'm critical of like all my old coaches. And if I can't talk honestly about a coach because of fear of like retribution, like, I shouldn't be in this business. Like, this is my honest opinion. Listen, I hope the school wins. I just don't trust his methods.
You're involved now in a podcast that's incredibly successful. You're part of broadcasting too. Was that an easy transition for you to just do the podcast?
Well, I did a podcast because I got fired from my radio show. I had a radio show up in Boston at WEI for years, and they fired me. And it's just like a passion project. It was called Coach to Win, and I did two things. I ended up doing that, and it was like basically everything my bosses at WEI didn't do. And I wrote a syllabus on that. And then I ended up being hired to teach full-time at Bryant University, where I teach a leadership class, which is about coaching techniques and coaching styles and everything that I disagree with with certain coaches. I teach the right way to do it. And I teach broadcasting, radio. I got 10 students that I flew down here from Boston. They're all doing shows right now, trying to do the same thing that you guys are doing. And they're knocking it out of the park. But I teach them like I would coach. Like, I'm not easy on them. I tell them the truth, and I make them do it again. And I have high standards, and I don't lower mine, and I don't let them lower theirs. You see them walking around. They're branded. They're wearing gear. They're dressed nice. They're approaching people. They're trying to get jobs. They all handed out creative business cards. They're awesome, right? So
I can't imagine if I had that opportunity when I was at Stephen F. Austin in the broadcast journalism class. We had a little radio station on campus. Thank God nobody could hear us.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine having that experience at that age here. Unbelievable.
I wanted them. I said, listen, you're going to learn to swim on the fly. We're going to figure it out. I'm going to throw you in the deep end of the pool, and then we'll just see if you can kick and paddle your way to the edge, right? And that is what they do. And I will say, there's everybody puts these perceived limitations on these students, and it's either they put it on themselves or somebody else puts it on them. We remove that. We remove it, and we don't allow certain things. I don't allow them to say. I don't allow them to say, I don't know. Can't do it. I can't ask you a question, and you can't say, I don't know. That's insulting to me. It means you're being lazy, And then the other thing I say, when they come to me with a problem or an issue, I literally say, go figure it out. It's that simple. Go figure it out. I can't sit there and hold your hand. Well, it's this, and no one's talking to me. Go figure it out. Go back out there again. There's a freaking 4,000 people in this room.
Yeah.
Somebody will have pity on you if you say it the right way.
Yeah. No question.
Tell us about Fantasy Spin. I'm a big fantasy guy.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay. If you're a fantasy guy, I'm not, but I'm about Fantasy Spin. So first of all, go to fantasyspin.com, and it's really easy and it's fun. And that's how I would phrase it. All you have to do is go to the site, go to fantasyspin.com, or you can download the app on any iOS, any Android, any of those things, iPhone. Go do it right now. Literally, go check it out. I'm telling you guys. And I'm going to play you something, because all you do is you can play for cash or you can play for fun. And you can play for free. If you don't even like it, you can just try it out and see if it fits you, right? So the cool thing about this is you spin like a wheel, like a fantasy spin, and 6 players will come up. Right. And then depending on which one you like, I like Hunter Henry. You pick Hunter Henry. Now you got 5 spins left. And now you need to build your team before all your spins run out. Okay. And is the cool thing about this, which I tell everybody, and you can play for, $10, you can play for $100, you can play, but here's the sound. Listen to this. How cool is that?
Yep.
So that's what as you're spinning, you're hearing this going over and over and over again. A buddy of mine created this, and I told him I would help him out. And if you go to it, just check it out. You can actually just tinker around with it for free. It doesn't cost you a dime. You don't have to put up any money. And there it is right there, fantasyspin.com. I'm telling you, listen, go to that site. Okay, we're live in Texas, all right? This is all up in your wheelhouse. I promise you, mention me at Christian Fauria. If you don't love it, I'll figure something out.
It's so amazing. I didn't know about it. I saw it on your shirt. Yeah. Paul brought it up. Boom, I have it like 2 minutes later.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. I'm so happy for him. This guy is great. He gives back to the community, and he came up with this idea. I was like, dude, that's pretty awesome. And I don't really play these games, but I play this.
Right.
And he gives me a hard time because I'm like one of the worst. He has the ability to go back in and find out how poorly I play because I lie to him. He's like, no, I just checked out, and you suck. I was like, well, I know, but it's fun.
No, it's fun. Anything that's fun is good.
Yeah.
Even if you're losing. Well, thank you. Great stuff.
Yeah.
Proud of what you're doing with those young kids.
Yeah. I appreciate you guys having me on. Check out fantasyspin.com if you got any time and let us know what you think.
Thank you, man. Christian Fauria with us, 365 Sports, San Francisco, NFL Media Headquarters.
When you play hard, sometimes you fall hard. Sports injuries require special treatment. At Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, our team of expert doctors provides athletes and active adults with comprehensive sports medicine care, diagnostics. Whether you're in high school, college, or beyond, we'll help you get back on the field. Call on the team physicians for Baylor Athletics. Call Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics